Greetings, beloved on earth. Greetings, awakening souls. I, Kuan Yin, greet you this day through Mother Akasha's messenger, Usa. For those of you who may not be familiar with me, I am the Bodhisattva of compassion, and at the highest transcendent level and source of my beingness and service, I am the Mahasattva of mercy, compassion, forgiveness, and redemption. And I come to offer my gifts and service to life, to each of you who choose to receive. As many of us who are part of your spiritual hierarchy, living in the fifth dimension of our planet Earth, seek to assist your people and all life upon this planet, I come to offer you and all conditions of your life my own heart flame of my sacred fire love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. I am here with your ascended and angelic host to assist you and urge you to realize how much the need for forgiveness is almost everywhere throughout the world, and that each of you may be a source of this forgiveness to others and all life on earth, that life may one day be set free. I come to offer you all the spiritual complemental actions of forgiveness, which can be set forth into action as quickly as you call to me. And so if you will still yourself and center yourself into your heart for a moment, allow yourself to be fully relaxed and take a few deep breaths. Now pour your love and your gratitude to your own God presence, the mighty I Am, that is individualized from the great central sun of our universe. Just pour your love and gratitude to your presence for the gift of life. Just pour your love to your presence. And now you can call out to me if you would like my assistance. Beloved Kuan Yin, I reach up to you with all my mind, heart, and soul, and I ask you to fill me and all conditions in my life with your sacred fire love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. I have made mistakes in my life, as everyone has made mistakes. And with all that is wrong in this world, all of us, and the kingdoms of life and the powers of nature that have been so harmed by humans' presence on this earth, I realize, Kuan Yin, what this world needs most at this hour is more love and forgiveness. My beloved, it is wonderful when you pour your love and forgiveness, such a blessed thing and activity to engage each day. However, that love and forgiveness that you may offer to yourself and to others, it is not complete if it does not include whatever action of the sacred fire that corrects and changes the energy of mistakes and wrong conditions. Then that discordant energy, if you do not use the sacred fire in this way, remains until it is treated with a greater power that can transmute the energy of mistakes and wrong and discordant conditions. Offering love and forgiveness is a beautiful way of living your life. However, that love and forgiveness must have an action that can actually transmute the energy of mistakes and wrong conditions. And so this is what I come to offer you, an action of the sacred fire that is required and infused with the qualities of love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. When these qualities are present in the sacred fire, you have everything you require to be free of your own mistakes and everything required to transmute the energy of those mistakes and conditions so that they are no longer limiting you or others anymore. So let me help you, beloved. Then together we can help the rest of the people and all kingdoms of life that suffer upon your planet. Perhaps call to me, beloved Kuan Yin. I reach up to you with all my mind, heart, and soul, and I ask you to fill me and all the conditions in my life with your sacred fire, love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. Fill me every day with your sacred fire, love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption, and set free all the conditions in my life. Set free all the limitations in my life by pouring your sacred fire, love, mercy, and forgiveness, compassion, and redemption into all conditions and limitations that are presently in my life. Set the energy of those conditions and limitations free, beloved Kuan Yin. If you call upon me in this way, then, beloved hearts, do the same for your family, for your loved ones, and for the people in your communities, and ultimately the people of the world. Beloved, we all come in these Ascended Master broadcasts and offer you our many powers of the sacred fire to set your lives and your world free. Please realize that until you are an ascended being, you cannot directly produce yourself the sacred fire. And certainly, you are not angels of the sacred fire. Yet with all the worsening problems and conditions in the world today, What the world requires most are the mighty loving powers of the sacred fire that can dissolve and consume or purify everything that is wrong in the world. Not only can our sacred fire enter into a condition and remove what is wrong, we can also reverse those wrong conditions so they become great blessings in your life. Now, since you cannot do this for yourselves, this is why we all have come to teach you, to call upon us, to release whatever action of the sacred fire that we each represent into your lives and world. There are today too many wrong conditions upon your planet, and without divine intervention to help you solve those problems humanity faces, then the greater suffering will just continue to grow in your world. So together, let us transmute that suffering into magnificent blessings. Greater humankind does not understand these powers that we use, and therefore they cannot render the service to life which would set them free. So all of us seek to work with the few million of you on earth who know of us, accept us, and our spiritual powers of the sacred fire. You, beloved hearts, you are our voice on earth. You are our pillars. And if you will call up to us to release whatever amount of the sacred fire that will set yourself and your world free, and then call upon us to do that for your loved ones, your families, and your communities, then we can begin the road of healing and blessings that must now come into this world. Realize, beloved, that the ascended bodhisattvas, the ascended gods and goddesses, many of the ascended host, are those cosmic beings who have become the living authority and power to draw forth the sacred fire from the physical sun, the central sun, and the great central sun of our universe. It is our responsibility, it is our joy to draw that sacred fire, and then, upon the call from humanity, to pour the sacred fire into outer physical conditions, to force the purification that takes the place of that which has been of distress and destruction in this world. It is the great mercy of life, precious hearts, that provides the sacred fire activities, which you, as unascended beings, can call forth now into outer conditions to forgive those conditions and give forth into those conditions the sacred fire that purifies them. Indeed, you are fortunate indeed to become aware of the great mercy of life that provides these sacred fire activities, to sufficiently understand these sacred fire activities, and then call to us in your ascended host to pour those activities in your life. Now, as the Bodhisattva of divine compassion and redemption, this gives me great authority. Just your call to me to release my love, mercy, and forgiveness, my compassion and redemption, in the full activity of the sacred fire that has the requirements and the ability to forgive, to correct, to heal. And so indeed, while the mass of humanity do not yet accept us or are not aware of us, it is you, precious hearts, that we lean upon, that we may render the service to set life free that the rest of humanity cannot do until greater awakening takes place in the world. Beloved, with all the intellectual concepts mankind has been given down through the centuries, yet they know not the use of the sacred fire to undo that which mankind has created in the misuse of life's great powers of manifestation. So would you try to remember, beloved, that sacred fire? The sacred fire is the source, is the power that is behind all the powers of manifestation. We all just wish that you would love to daily call upon us to pour whatever actions of the sacred fire is required into everything in your life. Sacred fire. Can you imagine this, precious hearts? Sacred fire, when called into a condition, can even reverse what has been damaged and what has been wronged in your worlds. And never, in the millions of years your race has been visiting this planet, never has the necessity for the sacred fire from on high been greater to come into this world. When you realize that the sacred fire has the ability to even reverse what has been damaged and wronged in the worlds. Mankind does not need more things to find an excuse to produce discord. Yet that seems to be what is going on in the world. Did you hear that? Mankind does not need more things to find an excuse to produce discord. The world at this hour, with all the viruses and many other problems, I say to you, I, Kuan Yin, say to you, with all that is going on in the world today, the world really needs to be flooded now with all the ascended masters' cosmic flames of the sacred fire and the cosmic sun's presence of love, mercy, and forgiveness of the sacred fire that forever consumes what is wrong, just like the light consumes the darkness once you turn it on. The darkness exists no longer when the light is there. And beloved hearts, when I suggest to you that the world not only requires the ascended masters' cosmic flames of the sacred fire everywhere, including the powers of nature and the forces of the elements, the world also requires an action of the sacred fire. And I, Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, of compassion and redemption, I am the authority and power to release into the world a cosmic sun's presence of sacred fire, love, mercy, and forgiveness that forever consumes what is wrong. And so it is with the sacred fire. Just as the light consumes the darkness, the sacred fire consumes all that is impure, all that is discordant, all that is wrong. If you train yourself, precious hearts, to fill everything with the sacred fire's love, mercy, and forgiveness, you will then keep yourselves naturally harmonized and at greater ease. And you will then be able to hold self-control in such peace and harmony of your senses and faculties. And this then allows the greater powers of your own God presence to govern your outer world conditions in many, many ways that you personally yet do not have the know or the understanding or use. Because the sacred fire, beloved hearts, flows from our octave. Yet it will surge into your worlds wherever you direct it by remembering to call upon us every day. With all the climate warming, harmful climate conditions, just as an example, what power do you have? What power does humanity have? What power does present-day science have to reverse the damage and harmed conditions, ravaging forest fires, ravaging floods? You do not yet have such power to reverse the damage of such things. And therefore we come to you to offer you our sacred fire power to correct conditions and precious hearts, even to reverse conditions that have been wronged or damaged. And that includes your lands, your cities. So let us create a wonderful relationship, beloved hearts. Only by looking within and looking up and calling to the angelic and the ascended host for our sacred fire power, control, and solutions that you might face in the outer world, will you then have the means to correct conditions, and correct conditions in a world that is almost out of control. We are all watching. And with all the forest fires burning in parts of the world, massive flooding in other parts of the world, how in heaven's name, precious hearts, are you going to control the powers of nature that mankind has so disturbed in your world? The only means and the only way that you can do this is to call upon all of us who are your ascended host to come into your lives and pour our sacred fire into your lives to set your life free, protect you, and yes, to even reverse physical conditions that have been harmed and damaged by the powers of nature. Nature in your world that today is so unbalanced. Nature in your world, on your planet, that has become so disturbed due to what human beings are doing in this world and the wrong use of technology. And so, beloved hearts, I have an idea, and I urge you to call upon Ascended Master teams to come into your lives, to watch over you, care for you, provide for you, all under my authority and power of my sacred fire, love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption, to correct all conditions in your lives and your physical worlds. Do not be concerned which ascended masters will be part of those teams. Your own higher discerning intelligence, your own I am God presence will choose the ascended masters. There are many of us, and I invite you to call upon your presence to reach into the ascended master realms to provide you, your life, with an ascended master team, a team of ascended masters that can provide every activity of the sacred fire, to direct that sacred fire into your lives, your families, your homes, your lands, to hold sacred fire control and if necessary, even Ascended Master healing and correction. And yes, I state again, Ascended Master sacred fire reversal of any wrong condition or any physical condition that has been harmed by climate change. We are all here to help you, precious ones. I have spoken with my colleagues in the Ascended Master realms, and they have said to me and agreed that as long as you call forth the sacred fire, love, mercy, and forgiveness, and the sacred fire, compassion and redemption, that if you call to me and you have that authority of the sacred fire acting in you, then you can call to your great God presence and into the Ascended Master's octave, for there to form for you an Ascended Master team who can pour every activity of the sacred fire that is required to set your life free and to stop the destruction that is going on in this world. Will you remember this? Will you realize teams of Ascended Masters cannot just step forth? There must be some kind of a certain type of Ascended Master sacred fire action in your lives first. And that action, I, Kuan Yin, I am the Bodhisattva. I am, in the height of my attainment, the Mahasattva of love, mercy, forgiveness, compassion, and redemption of the sacred fire. And if you have the qualities, the authority, and the power that I represent to life, acting in your life, then you have all the permission. You have the right to call upon your presence and reach into the Ascended Master's octave and request an Ascended Master team be put together to watch over your life, to help every condition in your life, your loved ones, your families, your communities. Let's get the great correction of all life unfolding. We are here to help you, precious loved ones. We are watching an accumulation of mankind's distress and suffering of the centuries. And we are seeing the human miscreation of the present. And all the Ascended Masters have said, if you will call upon us, we will come. We will pour our sacred fire powers, and we will not leave until there are no more who are caught in the human shadows of human creation. Beloved hearts, we in the Ascended Realms who commune with you, we have chosen of our own free will. Saint Germain brought the activity of the violet flame of his own free will. Lady Nada has chosen to return of her own free will. The Christ has chosen of his own free will to turn our attention back to humanity that suffers, to a planet that is suffering, to the powers of nature that are suffering, and your world must have an action of the sacred fire that allows all of us to move in with greater intervention. Yet those of you on earth must have the power, the spiritual power of compassion and redemption, so that you have the authority to call forth an Ascended Master team to be formed, to watch over your life, to release to you all that is required. Now, remember, precious hearts, whatever you require, so that you can receive all the assistance we can offer you to use, call to us with the understanding of those two precious words. Use them all the time. Those words are sacred fire. In other words, if you call to us for healing, call forth sacred fire healing. If you require opportunities in your life, call forth our sacred fire opportunities. If you require assistance with your supply, call forth our sacred fire supply. There you have it. You have the idea. Beloved, my heart of divine compassion reaches out to each of you, and I wish to arm your life with all the powers my life has granted unto me. I am the Bodhisattva, the sacred fire of love, mercy, and forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. Call to me. Let me arm you in my sacred fire spiritual powers and authority. Let me help you set your life free. Set all conditions of your life free. Let me flood your life and world with my sacred fire miracle mantle of compassion and redemption. And with this, you will have the authority to request an Ascended Master team be formed to watch over you and to provide you what will ultimately become your sacred fire freedom. I remain your humble servant, ready to receive your call to me. Namaste, namaste, namaste.